to hit the mat podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this Sneak It Under the Door. Wasn't supposed to happen. Holy fuck, it's episode 11. Who knew that was going to happen? I've Better Hit the Mat podcast, allegedly a fitness podcast. And three of us didn't get the memo that it was a silly Christmas jumpers podcast. Welcome.
Or you guys are fuck faces and told me it was a Christmas shop podcast and I wear the stupid sweater and then you guys all show up in normal gear. So
as if we would do that to you, Tom.
Halloween's the time, or Christmas is time for giving. So, Boz, I give you a fuck you. Ryan, give you a big fuck you. Travis, I love you, but fuck you. Thank you.
Let the record show I got the big one.
Yes.
Just say.
Yes.
Most deserving, I guess.
Most deserving.
That's right.
Cheers, boys.
Gladly.
Cheers.
Yes, absolutely. Cheers.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
It's coming out after Christmas, but I think anyway.
Yeah. Well, then, happy holidays, happy New Year, whatever it is. Yeah. So, wow, episode 11. This was not even supposed to happen. Are we allowed to say back by popular demand? I don't know.
Ooh,
I mean, there hasn't been any, but you can say that.
Is 9 people popular demand?
I think so. I think so.
I don't think you need double digits. I mean, Graham will eventually demand it, which will be 10. So we'll counter ahead. So
and your mum.
Yes. Well, she was actually 1, 2, and 3. She has 3 YouTube accounts because she keeps forgetting the password. So eventually she gets on a different device, logs in, watches it, and it counts towards our numbers. So we're good.
I'll take that.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So last week we had Tina on, and what an awesome experience that was. She cried a lot less than I thought she would.
That's true.
Even though we desperately, I put like 6 cry breaks in there, and I think we only got like 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I clearly didn't say fuck enough, although my bank balance clearly thinks I did say fuck enough.
Yes, and who would have thought we would have had to pay out so much money? But it's going to a good cause. So, and remember, we'll set up that link in the bio of this video and of that video for where you can donate as well. And let's get Abby her certification, because I think that'd be awesome.
I mean, the remortgage was approved, so that's a good thing. So we're good. It's fine. I may have to sell the motorcycle, but
you can walk. It's get closer to that 10K.
I have opportunities for you.
For the environment.
I have opportunities at Jamcock Fitness if you are more than willing.
That's right. Plenty of opportunities.
Now hiring. What are you guys hiring for right now? I know there was the fluffer position that just keeps getting reopened, but what else is there?
That's what's actually open.
We need a backdoor man.
That's what's open.
Swill bucket emptier, I think, is the next one.
It's a fluffer and also provide refreshments. So one of the two.
Craft services. Nice.
Craft services. Yeah.
Craft services.
That's craft cheese slice services.
Emphasis on services.
Crafty services.
There you go. So, Boz, I want to give you a quick shout out. You literally called out Tina in that episode about her Instagram filters,
I did a little
her
bit.
face softening, her faux glasses and cat ears, whatever the hell else they have available, AR filters. And she covertly put out a quick video, and I'd like to show that video, and I want to show everybody the result of you calling her out.
May feel slightly guilty.
Everything for this kind of came to a head over the past couple of days. I spent about 90 minutes the other night talking with some of my DDPY brothers, and they just spent basically that entire time encouraging me, which was really amazing. And one of the things that they encouraged me in was to stop using filters on my videos, that my face is fine as is and I don't need to cover it up. And so I took that to heart, and I know it probably sounds like a really silly thing to be like emotional about and to make a video about, but I've spent most of my life being ashamed of and hiding and camouflaging me. Because I am bigger and because I have rosacea and whatever, and I really feel like the Lord has been doing a lot of stuff and helping me to really take him at his word when he says that I am fearfully and wonderfully made. And this is part of me agreeing with that. So I'm going to try really hard to not use filters, and I'm still going to try to find good light though. And so my filters will be limited to comedic effects. But yeah, get used to this, guys.
Well, that was. Hello.
I put that one in there. Then she said comedic effects.
Yeah. I mean,
But
me and God don't agree on a lot of things these days, but that's one of those. I'll give him that one.
100%. Yeah.
God
Fearfully
won, Boz
wonderfully
0.
Scoreboard, bitches.
That is a fight I'm not looking forward to the end game of.
Maybe you can edit some effects. Maybe you can put some effects on us, Boz, during that video.
That would be
We'll see if time allows.
More work for Boz.
Yeah. In all seriousness, though, guys, like right there, that shows you the strength that you can get by others believing in you and then teaching you to believe in yourself, maybe.
Exactly.
And the things she said are that much more powerful when you can see everything. It's okay. Like, it's okay to be, hypothetically naked out there and to be vulnerable. And because it's honestly, it's inspiring. It really is.
It is. Good on you, Tina.
good on
Yeah,
you, team.
100%.
I'm going to cheers to that.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Did we have any other kind of feedbacks?
We did. We have I went with basically every time we've done feedbacks, it's always we always talk about like how we're kind of tooting our own horn a little bit, or it's always like, hey, this is great, this is good, keep going. We need more than 10 episodes.
So
I
wanted
wanted to,
awesome, but
yeah, absolutely. But there's negative feedback, so I went ahead and addressed at least a few of them. So Travis, you want to take that first one?
Yeah, I'll take the first one. This person's from this guy named Jason Sparks. Here we go.
He's okay.
He's okay. Yeah, that's what Ryan's. Yeah, he said, never heard of this makeup tutorial channel. Maybe I'll check it out to help me learn how to improve my eyeshadow application skills.
He
clearly
needs
there's no makeup.
all
here.
the help in the world. All the makeup in the world will not fix your problems, Jason. But we hope to get you there.
Either that or he was in the wrong browser and sent this email to the wrong platform. I'm
He was
not
on
sure.
his alt account.
Yeah, there you go.
Either way, he's got to work on his foundation game because it's a disaster.
Weak AF, my dude.
I had to look up terms and the foundation game came up like 9 times during the YouTube videos I watched. So boom.
Is that part of Game Changers?
Up your it is.
Yeah, that and contouring. Yeah,
Yeah, makes sense.
All jokes aside, DDPY sweetheart though. Wink, wink. Jason Sparks,
100%.
Good dude.
One of the best. Just literally big supporter of all the instructors of our podcast, of the program in general. So, and
What a
been
voice,
kicking
dude.
ass with that. Yeah, got a great
What a
voice.
voice.
Kicking
Ooh.
ass with his. He's been having a foot issue for what going on. It feels like 17 years.
Yeah,
I don't think he's missed a day. No, he hasn't. He's been in my workout group. He hasn't missed a single day.
right.
like
He's
a-
proof that if you can't get out of a chair, sit in the chair and do that workout.
And shit, he burned 1,500 calories on Friday in a
Yeah.
chair in that workout with Kristen and with Kristen and Sarah. Like,
shit, that takes some doing. That does. That's impressive.
Exactly.
yeah.
They're,
So go ahead.
they're cementing that boot. That's what it is.
100%. That's what he said. He goes, the calorie burn's really, really high. He's like, it wasn't that impressive. I was mostly just trying not to die. I was like, hey, at least you're honest, man. So I've got a review from our 100-day challenge group. This is from John Baton. He says, This is the worst podcast about Princess Diana I have ever heard.
I can't dispute that.
Can't
He
dispute
is
it.
not wrong.
Yeah,
Can we make that our tagline for the rest of the show?
it's definitely the worst
Although-
podcast.
I am going to call Ryan out on his pronunciation because it's clearly Batten.
Nope.
Ooh.
Baton
Scandal.
didn't have a single T, surely.
I reached out to him and asked him.
Yeah, but I'm going to say he's probably wrong as well. You know, remember, this is the English language. Remember the word English?
Yes, I know.
True.
Yeah. So trust, I'm telling you, he's got it wrong. It's Batten.
Yeah.
Poor kid. Poor kid never knew.
His whole life. Wow.
That'll happen.
Didn't have a chance.
That
That's
will
like starting over again. New name, new life.
Love it. Well, guys, I've got some feedback here. We're going to call this either feedback or it was a message that was sent to a spam account. But this is from Jeff Jackson, and it says, beautiful girls here online. That's it. I don't know what to make of that.
I can explain this one, Tom. I wanted to get it out there because it got caught in our auto moderator on YouTube. Automatically got flagged. We got an email saying, hey, do you want to approve this comment? And so I did the due diligence, turn off safe search, put it in the web browser, hit enter, and lo and behold, I get this.
Fantastic. It's working. My clever scheme is working. So
Fantastic.
nobody is visiting Be Unstoppable Athletics. Everybody is apparently going to beautifulgirlsonline.com. So thank you. Trojan horse, right?
You have to turn off safe search though, otherwise that web browser will
100%. Yeah, definitely do that. If you have access to the dark web, it's even easier.
But in all seriousness, I didn't want any kind of virus, so I stayed away from it. So if any of you guys out there feel like visiting it, let us know how it is.
Yeah.
He did put it at Mr. Jackson did put that at a timestamp of 33 seconds. Why there? I don't know.
Buyer
Did
beware.
you check what happened at that point?
I didn't, but I should have.
You probably shouldn't.
Awesome. And then I've got one following up from Lavinia's performance. Our good friend Kenny was inspired again, and he's fast becoming our roving reporter. So we have another video from him, which we're going to play for you now. So check this out.
Hey again, Hit the Mat guys. Loved your podcast where Boz's wife Lavinia came on. And I noticed that she was a Twilight fan. So I thought I'd swing on up here to the same parking lot, Forks High School, where Edward saved Bella. But I know Lavinia is Team Jacob. So I'll have to do my DDPY workout Jacob style this time.
Okay, two things. One, was that a Volvo behind him? Because it's supposed to be if you want to be authentic. Two, leave the sound effects to me, Kenny. Right. And no, that's really good. Like, I pissed myself when I saw that. It's fantastic.
I knew, number one, that you were going to mention the sound effects as soon as I heard it. And number two, I'm just happy he was going to put Twilight music behind it, and he was like, I don't want to get you a copyright strike.
That
So,
I
hey,
appreciate.
There you go.
Thank you for that. Because apparently you can't disguise it enough unless you just sing it badly yourself. You're not going to get away with it. So.
Yes. But yes, I am currently in talks with Mr. Dunn about trying to get him on for some regular segments because his stuff he's been producing has just been awesome. So just like naming a Tom's podcast, which never happened, let's see if we can make this happen.
That just kind of road to nowhere, right? Just
That's right. Eventually,
gotta
it's literally just going to go right back to what was the very first one? Tom's nutrition segment.
That's it.
Untitled, I think it was. Wasn't it?
Untitled.
Well, can't
Kenny
be
could be our
asked.
biggest fan and our biggest troll in the same sentence, and that's why we love him.
100%. Yeah, and he is killing it. Like, and actually, he what did he do? He gave us the idea for the toasting of everybody after each drink or after each review, and he said, "I don't know how in the hell He's been celebrating 4 years sober.
Mhm.
He goes, I don't know how I'm supposed to explain this one to my sponsor.
I realized that after the show, and I felt really bad because I was like, I looked like I was just hammering it that night. And yeah, one day you'll find the truth of that episode, but not today.
Yeah. But regardless, Kenny, we appreciate it. We love all the input, and we're good with it, man. We're good with whatever you send us. We'll do our best to get it out there.
Sure.
Apparently, just no howling sound effects.
No.
I feel we should talk about Travis's crystal clear image this evening and the supreme lighting, like different settings, Travis.
Yeah, it's I'm gonna start a little segment. Where the fuck is Travis? I'm just gonna go around and see how I can get better internet, better lighting, better sound quality. You know,
I mean, we'll tell you one thing: he's not in fucking Moline, clearly.
Not Moline. No.
I'm not in Moline.
You can tell because there's no dumpster fire in the background. That's
true.
how you can tell.
Like, no smog smoke. No, I'm in the beautiful city of Roanoke Rapids, North Carolina.
Dude, you've got to tell us the story that you told earlier about where you are and what happened, because it's amazing.
It's a great
Okay.
Well,
story.
for me, it is. In my DDPY journey, nothing like this.
All right. Well, I'm visiting some family. I'm bringing my dad home to visit some family here in the town that I grew up in that I no longer live in. And we check into the hotel room. And this morning I needed a 9 p.m. spot for a class for transition coach. And I couldn't do it in the hotel room. So I asked if they had a conference room that I could use. And after talking to them for a while, and they're very accommodating right off the get, they said, yeah, sure, you know. And they said, well, if you're teaching yoga, have you ever heard of DDP yoga? And I said, well, that's exactly what I'm teaching. And these guys had mentioned that the manager was a huge fan of Dallas, and not only a huge fan of Dallas, but he has been doing DDP yoga for 2 years.
And you said, I am Dallas.
Have you not seen the podcast? No, but they actually said he might come in and do the class with you in the morning. So I said, sure. And sure enough, man, I'm in there setting up class in the conference room, and he knocks on the door, comes in, and he does class with me. And he's only been doing the DVDs. He's not on the app. He doesn't do Facebook or anything like that. He's only been doing DVDs, and his positioning was fantastic.
That's amazing.
I mean, I looked over at him, and his bent-legged bar back, his back was nice and straight. His tailbone was tucked high. It was supposed to be. His shoulders were rolled back. I was like, this guy's actually paying attention to the DVDs and the position. But
could you set a beer on his back? I mean, gluten-free beer.
Gluten-free beer.
Well, you know, there's a little privacy issue there. No, but
COVID.
no, the cool thing was afterwards, this was technically, well, it was an active recovery class. And I told him, I said, it's going to be a little bit easier than typical DDPY class. So afterwards he said, I thought you said this was going to be easier.
So he made it his own, at least.
Well, yeah, he made it his own. But what as you guys know how I run, I hold in the positions a little longer. Especially bent-legged bar back. You know, I have people push on their quads and really engage their triceps and their lower back before we ever fold forward. And he said right then in bent-legged bar back, he said, I knew this is going to be a little bit more intense. So,
Nice.
But he did great, man. He did awesome.
It's unreal. Like the fact that you can go to somewhere in the middle of, North Carolina, I don't know if it's in the middle, wherever the hell it is, and check up in a random hotel, and that manager just happens to be doing DDP yoga. Yet when I was down in Atlanta, every single person asks you why you're there, and you're like, yeah, I'm doing this. And they're like, what the hell is that?
Exactly.
And it's like 9 minutes away from there. It's just unreal.
Well, he even had his staff doing it for a while. So
Yeah,
he would
that's
come in and play
super
the DVDs, and the staff would all do it in the morning. But so you're right. This is in the middle of nowhere. This is a very small town, eastern North Carolina. Yeah, last thing I expected was the manager to come in, and he was so excited. I mean, you could have thought that Dallas was in the damn room,
Yeah, you're the closest thing to it, right? Yeah.
What's that?
You're the closest thing to it as far as he's concerned.
Yeah.
Bro.
No, I mean, like, as far as you gave him a live one-on-one workout, that's about as cool as it gets. And he was already familiar with the program, so he understood the concepts of it, and just that's awesome.
I'm telling you, the first day I ever bump into someone in the UK that I don't know, and they know what the fuck DDP yoga is, I'm going to fall over backwards. The fact he's been doing it for 2 years, that's just insane. I love it.
Yeah.
So my favorite part of the story is that he's telling somebody else the story. We're talking about this now. That gentleman is definitely telling other people right now to say, you'll never believe what happened to me. Like that's
thing. And he instantly, he pulled his phone out and he pulled up the Better Hit the Mat podcast. I said, you got to check this out. And he's like, sure thing.
That's awesome.
Ooh, right.
My neighbor 2 doors down, he's a bigger guy, and he came over one day just out of nowhere, and he's like, hey, can I ask you something? I'm like, sure. He's like, I need to know, like, how'd you lose all your weight? And I gave him the whole spiel that I kind of give everybody, obviously, watch what you eat and discipline, a lot of hard work. And, then I throw out DDP yoga, and he goes,
#no carbs.
And he goes, is that that wrestler thing? I said, yeah. He goes, yeah, I got those DVDs. Never did them.
Wow.
And I said, yeah. And he's like, I had them for 6 years. And I'm like, oh, you should have started.
Wow.
I don't know. And so he's like, so you just do the DVDs? And I'm like, no. And like, I'm literally working out outside while my kids are riding their bikes. and I'm like, no, I'm doing the app. And then he comes over a few days later, and I send him a code to get the free month or whatever it is. And he comes over and he goes, so you're like on that leaderboard and shit? Yeah, I'm like on that leaderboard. He goes, do I have to be on that leaderboard to
you do
progress? I'm like, sure, absolutely. And he's been killing it, man. I think he's dropped like 60 pounds. I mean, he's got a lot to lose. Now it's just a matter of sticking with it. But yeah, the dude, and he even tells me like he runs a restaurant. He runs at Coney Island, and he's like, yeah, man, I'll be like at work and just start knocking out little phases. I'm like,
yeah,
gotcha.
That's someone else who does that.
Yep.
So
I've actually had colleagues and a customer one time in a conservatory whilst we're fitting blinds, doing a little bit of stretching, DDP yoga style. Because someone I'm training, he's 6'7", and we do a lot of stooping under things, and his back gets all hunched up, and he had a little van at the time, so he was like all curled up. So I'm like, okay, do this stretch, do this stretch, do this stretch. He came in the other week, and I just caught him in the corner doing these stretches. He's like, I've been doing them every week. It makes a game changer. I'm like,
nice.
See, it works. We're onto something here. Yeah.
It is a game changer.
Tom, does your staff do any of it? Like, I mean, you've been pretty vocal, and you're out. You put your story out there. I don't know how big of a staff you got there, but
yeah, when I was teaching in the gym, I told them they can come to any class anytime. So 2 of them came one time. They never came back. So I think part of
my experience.
I think part of it was the time. It's before work, so I think it's spending as much time with me as possible probably is not what they want. But they've always shown the interest. But we see how this is, right? So you got to kind of get people hooked. They always say, "Oh, I want to try that. I want to try that." There's the anxiety of getting there and doing it. Once you get them doing it, you just have to keep them going. So I constantly encourage, but unfortunately, they haven't been yet. But I always talk about it because they see the food choices I'm making. They see the lifestyle I'm doing. Sometimes they walk in the room and I'm doing push-ups or squats, and they're like, "You are a maniac." Like, hey, we do it for a reason, right?
That's when the patient's on your shoulders too, right? You're like, what the?
Yep.
Easy,
They pay extra for that. Yep.
Yes. Can you read this chart? No, doc. You keep squatting.
In the way every single time.
Your biceps in the way.
It looks so much bigger through there.
The chart is on his biceps now.
He just
Project everything right on there.
Love it.
What's the worst that can happen with that, right?
No, looking good though, Tom. Seriously, jeez, yeah.
Oh,
seriously.
I have a question, Tom.
Yes.
How fucking hot are you right now?
Pretty warm. So I do have a backup underneath when Miss Stacy comes on.
I just wait for him to go like as red as me.
Part of the reveal. But no, it's I got fans on purposely. I have shorts on underneath this.
He's got ice packs underneath.
I do. I
He's
got
free
cold
balling
beers next to me. I've been swigging this beer quite a lot. So I had pictures taken the other day in this. We Project Mayhem sent out Christmas cards to all of our clients. So I put this on. I put a pair of tights on. I put my Jack bands on, and I had said, Heather, can you take some pictures of me in like some of the crazier poses? Within about 30 seconds, that was the worst decision I made in my life because I was just pouring in sweat. I couldn't get on the mat or anything. I'm like, this thing is just too thick.
We're gonna need some of those photos, please.
Oh,
Yeah,
100%. Yep, they're awesome.
Yeah, and I'm doing Christmas Day class in that son of a bitch too. Woo, it's gonna be hot.
You should do it
Actually, I
outside.
noticed Tom did a helpful Q&A jacked video earlier that I noticed, and he was showing us the correct positioning for the jack bands, especially the one on the leg and the fact that it goes quite high up on the thigh. Your strategic camera placement was impressive, so I was like, oh, I'm not sure I want to see where. Oh, good, that was really nicely framed. Well done.
And see, I was thinking boner party.
I had to do it 3 times. And I'm not an editor, right? Because I just don't know how to. So I have to film. If I do 6 minutes and I screw it up, I go back and redo it again because I just don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. And so I ended up just constantly bringing slowly down, making sure the junk was out of the way. Now, that was the best part of taking these pictures in the tights is Heather took about 50 pictures and there was 48 junk pictures. She's like, nope, you can use that one. Nope, you can use that one. It was a disaster. So men, don't wear your tights. And
smuggling some candy canes.
It's no
candy canes. Do instructors have to wear jogging pants?
Oh.
He had it's what we call a BISP. That would be boner in sweatpants.
So called junior high for me. Yeah. That was junior high every day.
There you go.
But now that we're doing more like live things, I've noticed my choice of shorts had to change drastically. There's 3 pairs of shorts I cannot wear on camera because I had no idea that literally it's all there.
Ryan gives me shit for my shorts, but look, they're the best shorts for twisting and lunging and all that. That gives you plenty of ball room. They're slit up the legs. If you have big, thick legs, they're great for tree trunk legs. And man, they stretch with you. They're good shorts.
I am not giving you shit, sir.
The Velcro.
I am giving the people that go out and buy an Affliction shirt and automatically become fucking Joe Rogan overnight.
Right. Well,
because they bought an Affliction shirt.
Here's the funny thing, Ryan. Do you know this? I didn't even know those shorts I had were Affliction. I had those shorts for about 6 months. A friend of mine gave them to me. I never even knew Affliction was down the leg until you said something. I was like, Affliction, what the fuck?
That's what I'm giving you. I will forever give you a hard time. Just like if your fucking jeans are studded in the back, motherfucker, I'm making fun of you. I don't give a shit.
That's not happening either. That's not happening either.
You want shorts embarrassment, right? So I start doing DDPY. I got no fucking idea what to wear. I realized very quickly I need compression leggings. Initially, it was for leg pain. That didn't become an issue, but if I was doing something like Black Crow or whatever, I sweat like a bastard. I might as well just come out of a massage parlor. I'm falling on my face. So I have to cover, and some workouts, I even wear long sleeve shirts for the same reason, just keep myself, wicked. So I thought, everyone seems to wear MMA shorts. I'm going to buy MMA shorts. I look around for the coolest designs I possibly can. I find this cool design with a skull on it and everything else. I start wearing it. I'm starting to teach. I go to a workshop in Frome. Hayden's walking past and he goes, oh, hey, I had some of those. And I was wearing these gloves because my hands used to slip as well initially. So I bought gloves with grippy, like fingerless gloves. I thought he meant my gloves. And then I think that week I went home and I put on a Hayden workout on the app. No, same fucking shorts. The white and black ones, exactly the same design. I look like the biggest DDP mark ever. I want to look like Hayden. I'm buying the same shorts. No, it was a complete fluke. It's just we both like the same skulls and shit. That's
Hayden cosplay. I
now
like
the
it.
final thing. That's funny. The final thing about those shorts and the best part is the Velcro front. No, the tie not coming. I mean, I've had so many shorts come in tied in the middle of my workout. I'm like, holy shit, my shorts are falling down. But these Velcro, I mean, you better Velcro them up when you wash them because they're going to tear the shit out of a shirt if they get a hold of it. But they won't fall.
I swear by the MMA shorts, they're the most comfortable thing you can buy. Anyway,
they're on deal right now.
One last thing. I mentioned our friend Dorothy. I'm just going to give her a big shout out for this. Is the shirt she bought me that I was talking about.
There we go.
I haven't dropped enough sizes to be able to stand up wearing this shirt, but the top half doesn't look bad. But just so I might employ this later when someone's giving me some shit. So the beauty of this shirt is you get to do this.
I've never seen a shirt do that before.
It's amazing. So there you go. Thank you, Dorothy.
Hilarious.
She is a sweetheart.
Yeah, she's around all the time too, man. What an ass kicker.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so you guys ready to bring on this week's guest?
Let's do it.
Yep.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so every week I read together these little scripts about what I'm going to write about people, and this week's is probably the easiest. And honestly, I don't know much about Stacy outside of the fact that she does a lot of DDPY. So I've worked out alongside this week's guest literally more than any other person in this community. If you fire up any kind of a live workout, whether it's on Facebook or Zoom or Facebook Rooms, there's a really damn good chance that Stacy's already in there with her mat ready, and she's probably the first one through the door. And honestly, her commitment to her own health should be the blueprint to every single person's journey in this community if they want to get better, because you talk about doing the work and putting in the time. That's exactly what this week's guest has done. So let's go ahead and give it up for Miss Stacy Podgorski.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just wear one of those shirts.
Stacy!
Cheers.
Yes.
Cheers.
Got a beverage. Oh, good on you.
Cheers.
That's a cool glass. I like that.
It's got Tennessee on it.
Ah,
Nice.
Tennessee. That is
So-
a lovely shirt.
I am. It's okay. So I'm going to call you out real quick before we even get any into this. This is the message I get as we're starting this recording. She goes, "Is this how you're supposed to warm up for Better Hit the Mat?" Come on. now.
Absolutely.
Look at that.
That was my
That's a
longest
full-
hold.
You know what,
No-
though? Here's the
No
thing.
warning
Okay?
sight either.
So let me show you guys what she's done. If you see there's space between her head and the ground, she doesn't go into headstand and then up to forearm. That's just straight kicking in and holding. That's strength. and
Nice.
discipline. That is
Yeah.
not an easy thing to do without turning over top. So that's
Yeah, yeah.
awesome.
Exactly.
I do that a lot though too.
Yeah. Hey, it's all about learning to roll out.
Right.
You just tuck the chin and roll with it, and hopefully you don't hurt your shoulder, you know? So don't pull a Scott French.
Yeah, that's
Kick your own ass.
learn how to roll.
He did
Yep.
that doing push-ups though, didn't he? Off
He
the
did,
wall?
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm just talking about the shoulder in general.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well
welcome to the show. Honestly, you've probably been one of at least this show's biggest supporters. From day one, you seem to be one of the very first people to comment and like and share all of our stuff. So it's been and honestly, it's cool to have you on, because you could have been on episode 1 if we really didn't already have a huge list of people. And yeah, you'd
Oh.
say that, but like it's really cool to have you on. And I know most of us already kind of know a lot about you, but and a lot of people in the community probably already do. But do you want to go ahead and tell us kind of what got you started on trying to get your life back?
Man, should I start from the beginning? The beginning.
What year were you born? I don't have a ton of time.
Wherever you want to start.
So I got the DVDs first. That's how I started. They were given to me as a gift. I think it was in like 2016. It was I had my daughter in 2015, and I wanted to bounce back from having a baby, and so I got the DVDs for that reason. But I didn't actually hit the mat until like 2017, because I had my son shortly after I got the DVDs. I did Energy 2.0 to start, because that's the real OG for me. And to think back that far, 2017, I couldn't do the half 3-second push-ups. But that's how I started. I did that for like a month, and then I fell off. And then I picked it back up and did it for a month, and I fell off. My journey begins on the Positively Unstoppable Challenge.
Is this number 1?
Yeah, number 1.
Okay.
We had just bought this house, and it's got a lot more space than the place that we originally had. And I had the DVDs already. I got an alert on Facebook or something for the challenge, and I was like, hey, why not? Let's try this. And so I just did the DVDs. I had downloaded the app, but beyond the 7-day trial, it wasn't for me at that time. The DVDs were working, and that's, I did about 3 to 4 times a week. either energy, fat burner. I worked my way up. I remember double black diamond being my goal. It was, that's the scary one.
Right? They scare you with the name.
Yeah.
Then you do it and you're like,
It's all right.
It's boring.
Yeah.
So after the Positively Unstoppable Challenge ended, the first one, I fell off. I didn't win, which, I won a lot of other stuff, because it worked for me. It really did. But, and this is something I haven't shared really about my journey. I can't remember who it was. I posted in the Positively Unstoppable Challenge group something about being uncomfortable in my body. And somebody commented, you should look up The Bird's Papaya and watch the movie Embrace. And it's like body positivity stuff. I don't know if you guys are into that stuff.
I'm familiar with the movement. It's all over Instagram.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of it though.
So I started being unsure with my journey with fitness. That's kind of how it was, partially not winning the challenge and partially because of, finding out that I'm okay the way I am. I don't need a change. And fitness, no matter where you look, it's change your body, transform your body, lose this much weight in this much amount of time. So
it's a lot of promises, and a lot of it's based on superficial markers for sure.
It's a lot of pressure, and so that's kind of why I don't really talk about my weight a whole lot, is because I don't want it to be about that. It's really hard for me to lose weight. It's not easy. It's partially genetics, which I know you brought that up. I think it was episode 8, Ryan, about, genetics being a big part of your health, and that's including sickness and like your metabolism and stuff. So,
Absolutely.
So Positively Unstoppable 2 challenge happens and I get back on board, but this time I'm like, stoked with more information from the body positivity movement and already knowing the program from doing it before. I got the app, I got a heart rate monitor, and that's all she wrote. Like, it was nonstop from there.
Yeah.
So when was your official start date for Positively Unstoppable 2? Do you know?
I was ready January 15th. I took some pictures January 15th, but I didn't have a newspaper. And yeah, so I did the newspaper thing on February 23rd or something like that. But
right. So that kind of leads to where, like, I guess where I thought this was going to go is like, so you're right as COVID is kind of rearing its head, worldwide, and our country really starts taking it serious about a month later, back into March. So you're approaching a whole life transformation, trying to redefine yourself. You're going to make all these changes, and then literally the entire world gets flipped upside down. Yep. And but it seems like, at least to my knowledge, and I'm sure it seems like every week somebody pops up in the group that I've never heard of that have just done amazing work. But I know for certain the work that you've put in during quarantine has been just like, it's shit. You hit the mat more than I have during that time. I know that's for certain. And I think that every instructor here can attest to that.
Oh, for sure.
100%.
For sure.
Absolutely.
I don't know about that.
Oh, shut up. Don't do that. No negative self-talk right here, lady.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure.
That's my job.
Exactly. I am pretty sure that if I hit because during that time, I was one of 2 employees at work. So, Tom, your 9 a.m. class, I'd usually catch it if I could, but you'd be in there. And then, Boz, you guys would have the 2 p.m. my time class, which would be your 7 p.m. class. Yep. And you were in those 4 days a week. Mm-hmm. And then I'd get home and Travis would have a 5:30 and you're there. And it's like, I thought for sure, certain that these guys were just paying you to work out. Like, I'm like, is that her gig? Is that her job? How do I get that job?
The secret's out of the bag, Ryan.
That's right.
Figured it out.
I'm doing it wrong.
The live instructor workouts saved me. Like, that's that's what, honestly, it wasn't the challenge. It wasn't, this new mindset. It was honestly the live instructors. You guys are awesome. I think I started with, now I'm going to pronounce his name wrong. Paul.
Yeah. Paul.
Yeah. Paul.
Yeah. I call him Pal, but it's Paul.
Is it? Which one is? Okay, good.
Elongate the H slightly, Paul.
Yeah. Paul. Yep.
Paul.
I started with his, and then I found out that there was like so many others, and I just kept, finding out the times and stuff. And because, there were certain times to do it, that's what made me hit the mat. Because if it was on me to just get on the app, I might procrastinate it.
It's super easy to put that off.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure Tom, I'm sure you guys see that a lot in in Project Mayhem and stuff. Your attendance when it kind of forces people like hit it or you miss it kind of thing, right?
So the majority of our subscribers, when they see our schedule, they understand that that's the time of the day that the class is going to happen. So they show up. And Travis and I, unfortunately, at first, we were at like the same time all the time with our classes. And then later on in the quarantine, we realized, okay, well, maybe we have to switch this up a little bit, because if we offer our students more options, they're more likely to show up. But if it's definitively at that time, just like you said, Stacy, if you have to just go and press play on your DVD player, it doesn't happen. But if there's a group of people showing up at 9:00 and that's the time that you cannot miss, we definitely have higher hit rates on that. So there's been a lot of success with that sort of strategy for sure.
Yeah. And the personal aspect, like Travis is really good at making sure he, says everybody's name that showed up and like, hey, how you doing? And then calorie counts. It's way more personal, and that makes, that personal touch and feel makes it so much more enjoyable.
It literally becomes, I mean, I know you always say sham fam and all that, and it's kind of like your little gimmick, but you have fostered an environment where everybody is in it together.
Right.
And it's its own support group without being a support group, without that label of it. And
it took me ages to realize it wasn't fake, but yeah. It's just the name,
Yeah. No, actually, we're all related. That's how America works. Sort of like how in the UK you guys all live together. Everyone in America's related. Yeah.
True. All cousins.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, everyone's got some Irish, haven't they? That's the thing.
At least one day a year.
Yeah.
Exactly. Hey, I just did the test. 23andMe. It's like 73% Irish British. So I may be cousins with you, Boz. Who knows?
That's not enough Guinness.
I've had 4 Guinness.
That's awesome. So, and I do want to, have Boz show this image. So speaking of you and your attendance in live workouts, not only have you probably attended more live workouts than anyone in this community, and let's be honest, the program does not give enough love to all these instructors kicking their ass, leading live workouts multiple times a day, multiple times a week. There are like 30 different options that you could really hit. Sanford has a group in which he posts everybody's schedule, but all these instructors, weren't necessarily doing paid services. They were doing tip jars or PayPal donations or Venmo. And then some of them started throwing out t-shirts. And I started going through a deep dive on your Facebook, and I found do you own any other t-shirts that are not a DDP yoga instructor? Because bring up this image real quick, Boz. That was just like your first 12 photos. So in there you got Shamrock, which is Travis. You got Burnin' and Earn with Ben Carson. You've got 1RM Hakio, which would be King Warren. You got Project Unlock, which is Craig Waters and Will Garland. You have Muscles for Misfits for Sarah Fortune. You have Hey Y'all Fitness with Kristen Nava. You even got the original run of Chasing My Change from Chase Green. Jesus, lady.
Nice.
I like to support my friends.
Absolutely. And I can promise you, 2 things. Every single instructor, that means the world to them. And the minute that you see somebody post a picture of you in their shirt, it's nothing but pride. Yeah. The other thing is I could not find a Be Unstoppable Athletics, a Back on Track Living, or a Burn the Boat shirt. And that's probably why your wardrobe is honestly B- at best.
Yeah.
Well, the contract, she signed a contract to get the Shamrock shirts, and that was to get rid of the Burn the Boats, to be unstoppable. And she's waiting on the Back on Track shirts. But
I hear there's a lot of
Aren't we all?
products out there.
Aren't we all? The fact that I don't even fucking have one should tell you something.
You know, that it actually made it easier for me, because if I had all your guys' shirts, it would be really hard for me to decide like who's to wear. So since I only had Shamrock,
Just pick one.
Oh, you would have just had to do a Dobbins and wear all of them.
by default.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Or like cut them in half and sew it into quarters back on.
Yeah,
Like, we should do that.
Like a quilt.
Actually, right, you could design that. We should print those.
That would be really. I should put together. That could be neat.
yeah, that could be
There
a
you go.
BTTR.
Them's the ideas.
Yeah.
One thing I love, the Project Unlock. So that was a really fun 30-day challenge done by Craig and Will over here in the UK. It was our first little UK
Centric.
like 100-day. Yeah, it was their thing, and they were brilliant. They did these funny videos all the way through. Those two are hilarious. We had the Undertaker walking in and getting choked.
Hilarious.
Just,
That was Kane. That was Kane. God,
See?
get your wrestling right.
Wrestling sucks. Anyway, but of all the videos they did and the high production values they put in it, Craig learned a bit of editing and some special effects. It was all very good. The best piece of video in anything in the Unlock Challenge was Stacy's videos where she walked in and just fucking threw out a chair. Like, whoom! Like the first time she sat on it, and like the next time she just came in and she just sort of threw it. And I was like, yeah, fuck that chair.
Guys, 30 workouts, 30 days. We did it. You did it. I'm proud of us. You should be proud too. It's not easy to do, but hey, we're owning it. We're killing it. We're positively unstoppable. Bang!
So
That
it's like
was
whenever I
so
see
fun.
Stacey now, it's like hashtag fuck that chair. I'm going to put the clip in as well.
Fantastic. So outside of just supporting instructors, you've also like during quarantine. I know you said you don't like to focus on your weight, so let's focus on things outside of that. Let's focus on everything that you've achieved, because just in the last month, I showed you the video of you popping up in the forearm stand, but Boz, you do video or image one there is, I think you've like mastered crow, you mastered forearm stand, obviously. So there you are against the wall, and now you're doing it without a wall, and now you're dropping into like perfect crows, like you're actually onto the back of your triceps. You're not wide kneed and only using your shoulders there. You're doing two-legged dog.
Yeah. Just we'll talk
And
about
I can
that
pop
later.
back. And I can pop back.
And you can pop back. Well,
Nice.
the picture didn't show that, so next time post
Cheers.
it.
I have a video. I do have a video. I have a video of me failing at the pop back and one of me succeeding. I think I posted it to the.
Send them over. They're going in.
There you go. So, but I mean, just like those things, like you're not just in the mindset of I have to do 30 minutes of DDPY and check it off. Now I can go about my day. You're trying to get better at positioning. You're trying to get to that next level. That's where this all is supposed to go. That's the natural progression. That's the shit that keeps you from burning out. In my well, at least it has for me.
And with that said, Stacy, your positioning and your flexibility is second to none. I mean, your pictures that you post, everything's in. I might even start cropping them and using them for some positional video instructions. I mean, your positioning is great.
Now, I do take obviously a couple pictures and pick the best one, but I do my best to, stay, knee over ankle and the best form I can.
You're stacking them joints.
Yeah.
I love that call, Travis. It's my favorite call. There are two things I got out of quarantine that I will never forget is Travis, the minute he says, make sure that knee's over ankle, stacking joints, folks. And no, that's not the latest Cheech and Chong movie. And then Tom's cat lift, cat arch. Give it to me, Tom.
Joe Exotic, and then Carol Baskin.
Carol Baskin.
I loved it.
I creased the first time.
Awesome.
I think I heard that 4 times, maybe 6 times a week for about 13 weeks. And then Joe Exotic died down, and and there you are carrying that fucking torch, man. You're like, nope.
Still throw it out. Don't tell the L1 police that I'm changing the names and the moves, but it definitely, again, that's the whole point of these live classes. We're talking about little individualities and just kind of ways to engage. There's times, Travis, I'm sure you see this. You're looking out there, blank faces, you say something funny, you see people laugh, or you do something like that. So it's all about that engagement, finding those different ways to connect, and it's all that fun shit. You know, it's good stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, we had a live workout just 2 Fridays ago, and at the first water break, Travis had ran the first section. I'm taking over. Everybody's getting water. Bruce Nelson's off in the corner doing exploding knees, or was it jumping jacks? Was it jumping jacks? Do you remember?
I think it was jumping jack. He was doing a bunch of shit, but the first one was jumping jacks for sure.
Yeah, so he's doing jumping jacks, and I'm like, all right, guys, 10 more seconds, and we'll hit the mat again. And I'm watching him still go. I'm like, no, you know what? 10 more jumping jacks, and we're gonna hit the mat. And then he got that 10. I said, actually, give it 5 more. And you could see he was getting hyped, and it got people like that kind of participation. That's what makes the Zoom platform so 100%. Fantastic. And you get to call people out a little bit, you know, and you can highlight, you know, you can really, like you talked about positioning. Like I think you called out Samantha. You're like, Jesus Christ, look at your Road Warrior 3 or your reverse Road Warrior. You know, she's getting her touch of the ground, like that kind of stuff. And as an instructor, the minute that you can give that compliment that you couldn't necessarily do through a DVD or even through the app, you can see them light up. It really is awesome.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
And Stacy brought up another good point about getting pictures of yourself in positions, because a lot of times the way you're standing in a certain position, you feel like everything's perfect, but you can't tell. So it's always good to have someone take pictures of you in these positions too, because you can see, I thought my knee was over my foot. It's not. Or you think that your hand's in a certain position. Really, really important to do that. And then you can see it. You know, the second you see your own picture, like, oh man, that was either really good or it was really, really bad. And then gives you opportunities to improve. So.
Yeah. I even did that in class this morning. I was in reverse Road Warrior, and I looked at myself on the TV, and I was like, "Oh shit, my knee is not over my ankle."
The screen is great for that, actually.
It's super easy to float out of that as you go in that reverse Road Warrior, because your whole body wants to go with that pose. Or if you start doing, you know, your curls, like any of those little things, because now you're thinking upper body. You don't even think about that lower body. Yeah. And that's what I love, like the continual reminder from the instructors of, you know, keep that lower half engaged. Do that.
I always worry we say it too much and that we're just like banging the same old drum. But the reason we say it, I say it because my knee creeps back. So I say it as a reminder to myself while I'm demonstrating it. And I actually, when I do reverse Road Warrior, I actually physically push forward the knee, then I take the arm back.
Yep,
so I compensate forward before I go backwards, and it evens out quite nicely. But
I'm gonna steal that.
I really try to, like, even on like on butterflies, like I try to remind people, engage that core, and you're hinging only at the hip level. Like you're not swinging your whole body. It's not a swim move. You're not diving into it. And I know it's the exact same call 5 times in a row, but it's for me just as much as it is for anybody else listening, you know.
Yeah. There was the time I fixed most of the things I was doing wrong. Was one time I traveled over to Frome, and I just caught a class with Jamie J. Curd at his
NTR.
Yeah, and he was teaching at he teaches at a local gym where he also worked full time. And the studio they were using had a full mirror wall in front there. And it's the first time I'd ever worked out in front of a mirror. And I just looked up and I went, oh God. So actually a couple of times I turned sideways for moves where I should have been facing forward, and he looked at me a bit funny. I'm like, oh, that's bad. No, move. So I corrected quite. Like, if you could work out in front of a mirror or sideways onto a mirror, or use the screen, zoom, something like that, cast it to a television so you can see yourself. Yeah. It is a game changer. It really is.
That's quite good for the pictures too, because my fabulous Facebook Friday mention was me doing broken hood ornament, you know, in the beginning in January when I started. And then again, I think it was in August, but my leg went further up, and I thought I was doing it really good in the one in January. Yeah. So you don't notice those gradual changes.
Right.
You know.
And we get so excited on those fabulous Facebook Fridays. We go, oh, look.
Yeah, we see a friend. Oh my God.
It's my friend.
Exactly.
Yeah. We just had, Tina just had one this past Friday. And then I think, were you in the very first one? There was like,
I think it was like the second or.
Was it? Yeah, I would say I remember it being really, really early. So yeah, that's a really cool thing. And like those.
I think I texted you and went, "Hey, you!"
Yeah. You know, that's 10 minutes out of that guy's day, but man, that means the world to the people involved. It really does. Like,
well, you know what?
It's huge.
Even more so, not only to Tina, you know. Oh, my dad just walked in.
Get him on camera.
Put him on camera. Hey, come here.
Say hi.
What?
You're able to hear us, but
take your mask off. You can take your mask off now if you want.
What are you drinking?
There's the old
Hey.
he's got a Shamrock shirt on. Yay!
They want to say hey.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. You guys doing good?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
fantastic. Hey,
Doing
Papa
great.
Travis.
You getting a good workout?
Trying.
Yeah.
12-ounce
good
curls
workout.
all day today.
It's
Amazing.
it's active recovery today.
12-ounce curls is what they said.
Oh Lord, y'all keep pissing me off.
Because he can't have a beer.
So, Stacy, early on in your story, you'd mentioned that you had a daughter, and you kind of, at least initially, wanted to get in shape. Post pregnancy, and then you ended up having another kid and kind of fell off. I've seen occasionally, well, actually in the live workouts, but occasionally you started posting pictures where they're floating around. Like, do they hit the mat with you very often?
Not very often. It's every once in a while, but they know the moves. They'll all of a sudden start doing the moves. They found yoga stuff on ABC Mouse the other day, and we're doing the moves. There was even tree.
Yeah, that seems to be a really common one in all the kids yoga is tree pose. I found like an initial photo of hopefully you don't mind this showing. If we need to cut it, we'll cut it. But you guys knocking out like a dual diamond cutter, I think. Or yeah, post workout. There you go.
That's so
See?
cute.
And then so that was probably pretty early. And then now it's I think they're
You've
helping you out.
advanced some. You have advanced some.
So,
That's an amazing picture.
is that now? I need to know. Do you crop her out to make the photo look better, or
I
Just
I
make
was
the
so
answer.
scared. I was so scared I was gonna kick her. Luckily I didn't, but yeah, the caption on that was, find somebody who supports you like Ari supports me in a standing split.
there you go?
That, by the way, standing
That's awesome.
standing split like that, you're always fighting the weight of your own leg.
Correct.
So it isn't a marker of your flexibility. It's a marker of your, I think it's hamstring strength, glute strength to bring that leg up. So if you can get someone to push it up for you like that, you get more of an idea of where you can get to once your strength increases to the point you can lift it that high. So it's quite, we saw that we used to do in martial arts. So
She was just holding me up.
No, that's awesome. Like it's such a cool thing. Like I can speak as a father with little kids. The influence that you can have on them by them seeing you daily try to better yourself is just it's one of the best whys to really take advantage of all of this. And so when I saw those photos, I like that's me. Like that's why I do that stuff, and it was really cool to see that, kind of reflected in your journey as well.
Yeah.
You had said you talked about the caption on that photo. It seems like at least more recently, and you've always put a lot of thought into the posts that you make on social media, a lot of stories. Usually you'll put like kind of like an inspirational quote along with your results or a picture from the workout. But it seems like you kind of got a little bit of negative self-talk there for a minute, and now you seem to be fighting yourself, trying to pull yourself back out of that, and like learning to just be happy with who you are and to love yourself. Like, is that something you wouldn't mind talking about?
It's a daily fight. I've grown up with these negative thoughts in my head, and a lot of times it's normal. You see a lot of people say like, I look ugly, or, I'm so dumb, I did this. The negative self-talk is very normalized, and fighting that has been probably one of my bigger accomplishments too. Working on being more positive, And I also, like in my posts, I don't want to just share, all the positive stuff. I don't want to make it look like, this is a cakewalk for me, because it's not. I got to share the good with the bad, and
Right.
all
David
the
Goggins
ups and
touches on
downs.
that a bit.
It's an ebb and flow. You're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days, and it's the same thing on the mat. Like today I did Lexi's workout this morning to prepare for this, to leave some nerves on the mat. But
I told you, don't need to be nervous.
Why
last
do people
night
get
was y'all
nervous of us
burn.
dickheads?
I did y'all burn last night, so this morning, like my legs were jello. I couldn't do the balance stuff. My balance was just off, and some days you have strong days where it's no problems, and then the next time you're falling constantly.
Absolutely. Yeah, you had talked about negative self-talk. Like I read an article today, and I just pulled it up, but it says teens unhappy with physical appearance are at a significant risk for depression by early adulthood. Heightened risk ranges from 50 to 285% by the age of 18, with depression severity greater in boys. Dislike of one's physical appearance affects up to 61% of teens worldwide, according to this study. Like, that's crazy. And I would be willing to bet that a lot of those numbers are probably driven up by social media.
Oh, God,
you see everybody living their best life, but that's the life they want to present, not necessarily the life that they live. So when you had talked about showing the good with the bad, like the sweet's not as sweet without the bitter. And I try to temper that as well and show my fuck ups, because there are plenty of them. Like I think we had talked about putting together a highlight reel of us just doing really dumb shit, trying to like, it's amazing how like you can make just the dumbest falls or I, like you talked about, falling over and stuff like that. I have far too many of those videos. So I recorded an entire workout on Thursday, completely out of focus. And it's a front facing camera. How do I not even notice it? It shows you how bad my vision is. I get to look at it, and literally the wall is in focus, and I'm just a blur. just
The other night, I had a pretty tough day. I was having a lie down on the sofa. Lavinia was doing her workout next door, and I just hear fucking kaboom. I was like, what? She just jumped out of the chair. I'm like, are you okay? She's like, yeah, just tried Black Crow. Apparently I can't do that yet. Total face plant. Like, damn, we haven't got a video of that. So we all do it.
So what do you think has been the best way? I know you say you struggle with it daily, but what would you say is the best advice to silencing some of that negative self-thought?
Everything's a balance. Like, you have to allow somewhat for the negative to be there. You have to be aware of it. That's probably the number one, is awareness. Like, feel yourself going there, like recognize it, accept it. But then the last step is let it go.
Perfect.
Like,
I was waiting for someone to sing it then. Oh, you're all copped out.
Oh, let it go. Are you supposed to? We're not. We can't do that. We can't say those words in a row. Disney will be all over our ass.
Well, I don't have kids young enough to catch on until just now, so. But, yeah, let it go. Sure.
This is the way. Oh, you can't say that either.
We asked last week. We asked Tina it's a two-part question, but so let's just look at 2020. Not at your starts and stops, but in 2020, what would you say has been your biggest victory? On whether it's on the mat or a non-scale one, whatever you want to go with.
There's too many. That's a good thing.
The Shamrock shirt.
That's actually the second part of the question, so let's hold that.
Your biggest regret of the year?
I want to say, just my change in mindset and teaching my daughter, like, she's in kindergarten and we're doing the virtual learning stuff now, and I get to be there with her. So what I'm learning in my journey is very similar to her journey in kindergarten. It's silly, I know, but she's building confidence.
No, not at all.
She's building confidence and she's learning, and that's exactly what I'm doing. So just
she's building that watching you as well.
It's literally I mean, that's what kindergarten's for. My son's in kindergarten. It's the foundations. They learn to understand what they are capable of, and then it's about building on top of that. Just like you realized you were capable of holding a plank, and then that plank became a 3-second push-up, and then it became a 10-second push-up, and then it became a fucking handstand. Those are those foundations. And your daughter's learning it with sight words, and then short A sounds, short O sounds, long I's, and the next thing you know, they're fucking reading. Like, that's what it's all about. It's the exact same journey. Or at least it's the same approach, and the destinations are slightly different, but the goal is the same. So that's cool. You're basically in kindergarten. How cool is that?
And we're doing it together.
Now, okay, so then the second part of that question is, what would you say is your biggest failure? And you can't say the Shamrock shirt. That's an easy out.
It's easy out. That's the obvious answer.
Did I say not having any y'all shirts? Is that?
We'll take it. No, that's cool. See, and the reason I ask is because I think it's super easy, because I don't think it's necessarily a negative thing to look at your failures, and so I think it's kind of cool, like I think it's really easy to you can look at your Instagram feed and see a lot of victories, but how many people post their failures? Not very many, So it's always kind of cool to reflect on that, I think.
Yeah, David Goggins is very specific about that. Posting your negative side as much as your positive side.
Yeah. Oh yes, absolutely. Like I had saw my cousin. He's a douche, but he posted something really cool. He said he wanted to tell his kids. I
almost had a spit
take. That's why he took a drink. He said, "I just hope all my kids learn that." You never lose. You either win or you learn. And like, I think that's really true.
Yeah.
Like the only time that you're gonna lose really is by giving up. It's not failures. It's not falling over. It's all about when you get your ass kicked and you stay on the mat, and if you stay there, then I guess that's a loss. But if you get back up and try again, that's all that really matters. So.
Yep, exactly.
The Arthur mentality.
There you go. No doubt. Like, man, some of his falls, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Like when he starts going forward with his canes, I'm like, no, dude, don't do it. Falls every time.
It's a crash pad, please.
When he fell into his china cabinet, I'm like,
I was waiting for the stuff to fall off the top the first time.
That could have been disastrous, man.
Yeah.
So
it's like the first time I tried an inversion without the wall.
Hey, speaking of that, back to the hotel story. That's one of the things that they said. They were like, he talks about Arthur all the time. Like, yeah, there's a lot of people. Arthur brings a lot of people in.
You see Dallas at a workshop, like put your hands up. Who's here because of Arthur? It was actually a summit, wasn't it, guys? There was a talk about it there, and he said, "Show of hands," and who's here at Summit because of Arthur? It had to be 80% of the room.
I think Arthur was how I first originally heard about it. The reason why I got it to begin with was because my boyfriend's into wrestling, and I thought he would be like my accountability buddy, like do it with me because it's Diamond Dallas Page. But no.
Yeah, he was more of a Hall and Nash guy. He didn't give a shit about that DDP guy.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. So every week I ask the fist fight question. Now, I don't know a lot about your media likes. I don't know music you listen to or movies, but I did see that you were rocking Chicago White Sox jersey in a picture and a Bears jersey. So I think you're from the Chicago area originally and Chicago sports fan. And as a Tigers fan, I want to say fuck the White Sox. So that's it. So thanks for joining us.
All right.
Bye.
There will not be a burn the boat shirt on the follow-up podcast.
No, there'll be a burn the boats in flames.
Yeah, and
Hey,
So-
burn the boats.
That's right. So for this week, here's what I want to know. Okay, it's a triple threat. Your boyfriend was a wrestling fan, so you know what that means. You can explain it to Boz later. Who's winning? That's right. Who's winning in a fist fight? DDP, former middle linebacker for the Chicago Bears, Brian Urlacher, or former first baseman for the Chicago White Sox, Frank the Big Hurt Thomas. Who do you got?
I mean, I feel like Urlacher.
Who do you got,
See-
Tom?
I was a huge Frank Thomas fan growing up, and that is a massive man, but he seems like a nice guy.
I know.
So I don't know if he would
man.
ever get in a fight, but if he needed to, he's a guy I'd want my back. But
He's gonna punch you in the face smiling. That dude could break.
he'd put a check in your pocket as you're falling down, I'm sure. Just be careful.
You see,
Yeah,
I
Frank
can't stand.
Ah.
I can't stand Frank Thomas.
Really?
I never had a single piece of their kit that didn't fall apart within 6 months. That's one for the bikers. I'm saying no more.
There you go. So Frank Thomas, I grew up a Tigers fan, whole life. Hate the White Sox. Frank Thomas, favorite childhood player. That dude, my God, country
Balance.
strong. Seriously.
I'm not a big sports fan, but sometimes it works like that. On your rival teams, you have your favorite player can be on that rival team.
When that guy is just like when you have those Tiger killers or whatever, man, you learn to respect the game. You do. You
Aaron Rodgers.
oh fuck that guy. Aaron Rodgers is the worst.
I
You
had
said
that
his
on my
name and he
fantasy.
actually yes, somebody just got a roughing the passer call because you brought his name up. Yeah. He's a bitch.
He's so good though.
Oh no, he's the
Carries
worst.
my fantasy team.
No, he actually he was my fantasy QB for a very long time. I have a hard time giving him a hard time now because he got NFC Player of the Week, and he tweeted out, "Really? Did you guys not watch Matt Stafford play?" Like, I'll give him credit, like, and that's my guy. So yeah, but yeah, he's a douche. I hate him. He sucks. Awesome.
We need a section for who does Ryan hate this week.
Yes.
You need a douche book list or a douche
There you
list.
go, the douche list. Number one
You
right
just
here. This
made
guy.
the list.
That's right. I'll create a list.
Damn, he beat me to it. Right.
It's like I know you, Boz.
Oh, what was it this week? Something came up and like we both had exactly the same thought.
So
To try
Dallas,
someone's-
Dallas's auction.
Oh
He
yeah,
did
that was
last
it.
night.
Yeah.
So Garrett's filming Dallas's auction. I don't know if you guys know this, but Dallas sold a bunch of stuff that was from like 1983 on, and he was signing it off on signedbysuperstars.com, and people were just bidding as going. And I got into the room, I was like the third or fourth person in the room. Alid was the first person in that room, actually.
Really?
And the first thing I chimed in on is I'll put $5 on a game used signed Garrett Sakahara Team Red headband. And then Boz sends me a picture and he's like, look at this comment. And it's like, any game used Garrett Sakahara red headbands?
And it was like an hour later. I just checked in and I just trolled the room. I thought, Ryan will find this funny. Oh, he already said it. God.
So did you guys watch any of it?
I didn't know what was going on.
Man, there was like literally I sent you guys an image. There was a t-shirt for was it 1993 Bash at the Beach, wrinkled to high hell, went for $205 for a white t-shirt that he signed. I'm like,
More
there.
money than
Celebrity.
Shit. We sure can't turn it south, can we?
oh,
So anyway, the
good
bit I
God.
was going to say is that the guy I love are like the guys who work with Dallas. They have the patience of saints, and they should be commended because the bit of it I watched is like, okay, he's going to be sitting here. The table of stuff is there. This is off camera. This is happening over here. We've got a static camera and a camera behind, and then he's like, hey, can I just bring it over here? I'm going to go around the corner here and like just follow me. And the guy's like, but it's fucking on. It's on a tripod. It's locked off. The mic is on top. I've got a disc, and he's going, oh, it's too much hassle. Don't worry. But you know for a fact that no, you've got to move that camera.
Sure.
So it's like you can see it wobbling for a while, and then it's like, oh, and then this, and he's got so
Yeah,
many war
I'm
stories,
surprised he
bless him.
didn't have him jump in the Tesla and go to the PC so he could find some other racist memorabilia.
Because I love how he just does stuff on the fly like that. He just has ideas, and he's such an ideas guy. It's like, hey, just come over here a minute. It's like never a dull moment.
The
honestly.
ideas,
Oh,
man.
That's right, man. Always selling. That's what you got to do.
Well, branching
Right.
off of Dallas's love for Christmas,
That's right.
5-year-old
Always
Tom.
Uh-oh.
5-year-old Tom has a question for Miss Stacy.
Woo!
Uh-oh, here we go.
Yay!
So, Stacy, are you a fan of Christmas?
Yeah.
Kind of, sort of. So,
It killed
I
me
have a
with the
question-
enthusiasm there.
I know.
I don't like moving the elves. Like, I'm so sick of these elves right now.
Gotcha.
I have a crazy picture I need to show you then, but go ahead.
So, I have a question from 5-year-old Tom for Stacy, and the question is, what are you asking Santa Claus for Christmas this year?
Ooh. To hold forearm stand for a minute.
There we go. Let's see if Santa Claus comes through.
I think I'm going to be doing most of the work there.
Yeah.
No,
I
man,
have every
that's the same dust he sprinkles on the reindeer. You just sprinkle on your toes.
Good, man.
Get your ass upside down.
Gets it all.
Hey, you
good.
want to get rid of your elf this year? Here you go. It says, the elf was delicious. Thanks.
Oh,
I had
That's
the
my
cookies
kind of
for
humor.
dessert.
I don't want to traumatize my children.
Yeah, I mean, like, let's be honest. A really mischievous elf might just run away
True.
forever.
Or have to
There
go
you go.
quarantine at the North Pole.
There you go. That's a good one. Yeah, we have never done that, and zero intentions. I thought about it, and then I started thinking about all the work involved. And you got to one up it, right? Your social media game's got to be on point, so you got to come up with some really good, stupid things to put them in. Nah, not worth it.
See, I don't put that much effort into it. I just move them like in the Christmas tree or in a stocking.
There you go.
Yeah, you see,
If I
this is
remember.
this is why I don't have kids, because at the age of sentience where they understand phrases, sentences, and things, I would just say, yeah, Santa's not real.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, bro.
Ooh.
Grow the fuck up. It's not happening.
Here comes
I'll
the
give you
thumbs down.
presents.
Come on, man. Our best
I do it for a
demographic is
living.
kids and below. What the hell?
I
I
like
earn the
Robin.
money. I go shopping. I buy the presents. I wrap them. Be fucking
Let me just
thankful.
say, you're lucky Travis's dad can't hear you right now.
Yep.
He would whoop your ass.
That's
I'm
right.
going on YouTube right now, putting a thumbs down just for
Hey,
that. I
sit
have
down,
to.
Dad. Sit down. Sit
Out
down.
of principle.
Amazing. So, Stacy, let me first say thanks for joining us. I know you were super nervous about doing this. I think the things that you've gone through and are currently going through and working through it's gonna resonate with so many people in the community and so many people that watch this show. We are gonna go on to Tom's nutrition segment. Do you want to hang out or do you want to go work on your forearm stand?
I am going to be the first person to say no. Bye, guys. I do
Cheers.
not want to hang out.
See ya.
That was fun.
I love it. Amazing.
Don't forget the chair.
Fuck that chair. She didn't hear it.
Just kidding.
Oh, thank you.
Brian said, don't forget the chair, and I said, fuck that chair.
For a quick second, to be honest with you, for a quick second, you were so in character there. I was like, did we say something? Fuck.
I was waiting for lights out. Like
I was about to kick
it.
you from the feed.
I mean, I felt it for like that much. I was like, damn, what did we do?
Yeah. Hey,
No, seriously, let me just tell you guys, thank you. This is part of my healing. I was super nervous to do this, but doing this is going to be a big
fantastic.
part of my growth journey. So thank you. Appreciate
Well,
it.
it was a pleasure having
Stacy,
you.
you need to hear how much we wanted to have you on the show because your name kept coming up and up and up of when we can get you. It wasn't a matter of if, it was a matter of when. So we're all really, really supportive of you, and we definitely wanted to have you because we knew you'd be fun on the show too. I mean, you're just one of the best team players we got. So
Okay, on behalf of like all the instructors, like you guys saw the shirts, and I'm sure if any instructor when Paul puts one out, I'm sure you're ordering it. When BOT gets one out there, I'm sure you're ordering it. If I ever make shirts, oh wait, I do. You might order it. But in all seriousness, I can tell you that you own 2 from Ben. What the fuck?
Hey, you got to start. Let me just speak for Stacy for a second. You got to start going live, bitch, if you want to get some shirts ordered
I ain't
from
going
her.
live. I can't go live, man. I don't want to cut into your numbers.
Ben nominated me for the DDP radio, so he was another huge piece to my journey. So
that's awesome.
Ben's awesome.
Let's say I know that you are well respected by all the instructors, and they know your name, not just because you're there, but because of what you do for them as well. So
yeah,
that's really cool.
And so I just wanted to chime in on the body image side of it, and you say about not focusing on the weight loss, and I think that's so important. And when you look at the physical stuff that you can do, you're an example to so many people who are fixated on body image, weight loss because of social media and everything else. The pressure's huge, and as instructors, like being on the larger side, trust me, there's the amount of pressure I put on myself when I put on a few more pounds, or I fall back on the workouts and I lose some conditioning, and there's some moves I can't do anymore because I've lost practice or whatever. It's really good to be reminded that what's important is that how you feel, and that you're doing it for your own health, and how you look is actually an irrelevance. And I always joke when I do my breathing segment, I stand sideways, I stick my belly out, and I say, breathe it. And I say, the reason I keep the belly is so I can better demonstrate diaphragm breathing. You can really see it come out. But also one of my other things is I love telling people that I am a yoga instructor. I know it's not yoga, don't fucking shoot me, but so people understand.
Yeah, it is.
Because people always look at me like, I'm like, yeah, motherfucker.
I'm spiritual as fuck.
Exactly.
No, that's what I do say to them is I know I don't look like a fitness instructor, and that's the point. So, maybe I don't want to be ripped because maybe I reach more people this way. So yeah, it's body positivity is more important than body image. So true. I love it.
That's a big reason why I wanted to do forearm stand too, is because you don't see very many bigger, I know I'm not that big, but bigger people going up in a forearm stand. So I want to be that.
Break the mold.
Yes.
Likewise, baby. Likewise. Love it. Yeah. I wanted to nail it before I was like Tom's size.
Well, actually, I'm happy to see. I'm glad to have gotten to know you and glad to see you back, because I remember, Stacy, in the first Positively Unstoppable Challenge, where I was part of a thread. I think it was like one of the final threads to where you were like, I'm out. This is, it was a conversation about that. And you were like, okay, guys, I'm out. And you were gone, and that was before I knew you, but I was in that thread. And
yeah, I know. We were friends. I think I deleted you. My bad.
We are those days. But, hey, I understand. And I'm glad we're back, and glad to see you back. And I'm glad to have gotten to know you. So.
Yeah,
awesome.
It was that body positivity stuff and me being anti-diet culture. It's a huge rabbit hole. Don't go down it.
Yeah.
If only there was some kind of nutrition segment we could segue into seamlessly.
Oof.
Gross.
Is that the name of this one? Oof.
Oof.
No, actually, I named this one for Tom. This one's for you,
I
buddy.
can't wait for you actually to tell the name, because it might be our best one.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as ever, we have a different name for Tom's nutrition segment. And this week it is called, have you heard a single word I've said?
Exactly. So, guys, we've had a lot of fun. This is our 11th episode. We've covered a bunch of nutritional segments. We've had 2 nutritional segments on our active recovery series too. So instead of bringing a new topic in today, what we're going to do is, it's the holiday season. So that's why we have the Ric Flair shirt on. It's around Christmas time, and we know that Christmas is the season of giving. So I decided we're going to do a review of all the things that we talked about, but we're going to do it in a fun way. We're actually going to make this a game. So if you guys have a beverage, if you're drinking with us, you're going to bring a cold beverage to the show right now, and we're going to do like a little pop quiz. So Boz, we're going to put everybody up here. We're going to go in order. We're going to go through every single one of my shows, or every single one of the topics. I'm going to have some just fun questions. Nothing that's too hard, but here's the game. If you get the question wrong, you guys have to have a little sip. If you get the question right, you get to give a drink out to either somebody that's on the show or somebody out in the DDPY community that's listening to the podcast. So it'll be interactive. It'll be fun. But as we know, we're attacking this with what? Science and logic. So Stacy, you would agree. I don't know if you've watched the show. I'm sure you have. Our nutrition segment is not about, anything besides just uncovering some of the truths, because it can be so difficult to understand what really, really is important when it comes to nutrition. And nutrition is all about being a healthy body. So we started off our entire series on the question of what is the best diet. So Stacy, I'm going to ask you, what's the best diet?
There is no best diet. It's what works for you.
Exactly. So Stacy wins, right? So they've done multiple studies that have shown, they've taken all the major key studies of the diets of like keto and intermittent fasting and paleo and vegan. And as long as calories are equated for, there's not one diet that works better. So our key that we've talked about week after week is find what works best for you. So if you think that there's one diet that'll help you achieve your goals faster, there probably isn't. You just have to find what works best for you and stay, what's the big word? Consistent. So we beat that into the ground. That's always a fun topic to talk about, but it's one of the most debated ones that we see every single time. So the next topic that we talked about was meal frequency. So let's talk, we got Ryan as the next one. So if we had, the question is, eating 6 meals a day, does that stoke your metabolic fire?
Absolutely not.
Excellent answer. So Ryan listens to the show. So we looked at studies that show the difference between everyone. The biggest fad right now is intermittent fasting. And intermittent fasting for a lot of people is working exceptionally well from a nutritional standpoint.
I need time to drink.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, that's what I'm talking
That's the point. That's the point.
Stacy, who would you like to drink?
Oh, yes.
Actually,
Ryan.
I'm going for you, Ryan. Yeah.
I got water, so let's do it.
Cupcake hater.
And now I'm team no drinking. So what up?
So we know that meal frequency is not really important. So you can have 1 meal a day and you can have 17 meals a day, as long as the calories are equated for. Again, one method won't get you faster, especially when you're coming to fat loss. But the biggest key is, again, what works best for your day. So if you're a shift nurse and you're working at a hospital and you're working 12-hour shifts, and someone tells you have to eat every 2 hours on the clock, otherwise you're not going to stoke your metabolic fire and you're going to gain all your weight, we know that that's not true. So work within your own schedule. So awesome. So we've got those 2 topics down. We got Travis is studying nutrition, in case anybody doesn't know. He's actually taking courses in nutrition. So let's talk about.
So he has to chug if he gets this wrong.
Very.
Oh, Stacy died.
True.
Oh no, I broke.
How many drinks?
Love it. So our last topic that we talked about, we started the next few weeks, we talked about all the macronutrients. So that covers protein, fats, and carbohydrates. So we went through protein. Protein, in my opinion, is the most important macro. It's essential for the body function and building and maintaining muscle mass. Now, Travis, is protein an essential or non-essential macronutrient? Meaning, do we need to consume protein, or can our body produce protein on its own?
We need to consume protein.
Absolutely important. So when we talk about the rest of the macronutrients, there's going to be one that actually doesn't. So Travis, who'd you like to give a drink, or do you want to give to somebody out in the community?
I'm going to tell Tom to take a drink.
Thank you, pal. You guys love me.
Cheers.
Cheers. So when we talk about protein, there were several myths that we covered. So Boz, it's your point. And this is a myth that I know it's going to be close to you, because I know this is the type of diet that you follow. But can vegans get enough protein in their diet? And can they get complete proteins in a vegan diet?
Oh, he's frozen. Oh, he's frozen.
No,
He's
no, just
fucking with you.
accidentally
He's fucking with you.
muted myself on purpose. Of course, I can get protein. There's many proteins in many plants, like nuts and shit.
Perfect. So vegan diets are fine diets. It's a little harder to get your protein sources because, again, the essential amino acids are a little bit lower in your vegan sources. You may have to do a little bit more nutritional kind of planning. But one of the big myths out there is that vegans don't get enough protein. If you choose to do a vegan diet, as long as you plan it properly, you can get the correct amount of protein. So Boz, who would you like to have a quick drink?
Travis, at least half that glass in one chug.
Huh? Okay.
Perfect.
I'm naming quantities now. Oh, that's at least 2/3. Well done.
Jesus, my guy. You got a big ass mouth.
He does. It's a pretty mouth too. So on that note,
It's Irish are slackers.
we got to have some sort of transition from something like that. Stacy, do high protein diets cause kidney damage? You've heard that before. I'm sure you have.
No.
They do not. So that's one of the biggest myths about protein. And right now, one of the big fads with people consuming high protein diets, there's a lot of diets which involve high protein. A lot of people have said that the scientific data says that it causes us to have kidney damage and bone loss. And we've looked through the research, and that's one of the things we covered in our class or in our last topic. So Ryan, next question. The next.
Tom, take a drink. You forgot to tell me.
Oh, I will do that then.
Nice.
So Ryan, can you process 30 grams of protein in one sitting? Can your body handle that?
Are you talking about the need to flush it out like based on macros, or I guess I don't know what you're saying.
So one of the myths about protein was that you can't consume more than 30.
That you can't overconsume. Right. No,
Yeah,
you can process that.
Exactly. So that's another one that's a big myth. So people have been perpetuating the idea that high protein diets are bad for you because they're bad for your kidneys and your body can't even process 30 grams. So we went through the scientific literature. We proved that that is absolutely not true. And that we do know that there is probably some sort of upper limit. And Justin Dobbins has been testing that limit every single day. He's been showing that he wants to sit down and eat a 5-pound steak. And I believe he can do it. I believe his body can handle it because he is superhuman. Ryan, who do you want to give that drink to?
It's so fucking convenient you named Dobbins, because that's exactly who I want to give it to, because he shit talked us because he thought Boz drank 800 drinks. He's like, do I have to come up on that show and teach you boys how to drink? So, Dobbins, I would like you to slam 4 beers.
Oh my God.
4 Guinness.
Film it.
4 Guinness.
4
Dobbins.
Dobbins.
Guinness? I've had 4 Guinness.
I think you should shotgun them as well, don't you?
What do you got, Dobbins? Build a contraption, weld one, and then all 4 at once.
Yeah, that's an awesome idea.
All right.
Yeah, we want a gadget. We want a gadget.
Like one of those shot skis.
We'll add that to the sham van, the Guinness shotgun machine there.
Awesome.
Encouraging healthy habits at all times.
Always. That's the fun of this, right? So we're talking about healthy things, but we're actually having fun with it. So I believe it's Travis is up. So our next week, we talked about fats, right? So we talked about everything that's important about fats. Now, the biggest myth about fat is eat fat, get fat. And we know that that's not true. We don't have to bust that one. We know that that one is specifically just absolutely not true. Our body actually needs fat, and it is an essential amino. It is an essential part of our diet. Our body cannot produce the amount of fat. We do need certain dietary fats to live. So my question to Travis is going to be, of the 3 types of fats that we consume, trans fats, unsaturated fats, and saturated fats, which is the one that we should never, ever, ever, ever consume for any sort of reason?
Trans fats, maybe?
Trans fats. So we talked really, really in depth about how horrible trans fats are for our general health. We saw those studies that it can increase the risk of almost every single bad thing that can happen in your body. And we've talked about every single week. I'm very, very moderate in everything. I always say everything in moderation, but this is the one thing that we talked about that you absolutely should not be putting in your diet. Now, Boz, on that note, we talked about there's 2 different types of trans fats. There's natural trans fats that are in certain foods, and then there's the artificial trans fats. Are they both the same with health risks?
I don't know.
Drink.
Hey, not just drink. Finish that son of a bitch.
Finish that thing. So
how will you know?
What are you drinking? What are you drinking anyway?
Might be rum and coke.
Okay.
Might be rum and coke.
There you go. There's nothing in there, you bastard.
It was, but it's empty now.
The trans fats that are found in natural food products are not great for our system, but they are nowhere near the artificial trans fats. So that's where we saw that huge movement in the 80s. They took all the fats out of our diets. They started putting artificial trans fats in replacement of saturated fats because they said saturated fat was going to give us all heart attacks and we're all going to die and get heart disease. We've realized through the scientific research that is not true. And the creation of the trans fats is causing way more health problems than the saturated fats ever did or ever would. So that's a really, really important one to talk about. So we talked about saturated fats. We should keep those in kind of moderation. And then our saturated and unsaturated fats, we can pretty much eat. So carbohydrates. This was the most controversial one. Hashtag.
Wait. I get a drink, right?
Oh.
Tom,
sure.
Drink.
Thank you.
Because you're so good.
Because I'm so good. So we talked about hashtag carbs. We covered 2 weeks of carbohydrates because there was so much to talk about. But the biggest myth about carbs is carbs will make you fat. And then we saw that going through all the scientific literature, the consumption of carbs can be done in a healthy manner. Now, we talked about there's two different types of carbs. There's kind of the naturally occurring carbs that we can get in fruits, whole grains, vegetables, and legumes. And the one that's really, really, really dangerous is our highly refined carbs. This kind of goes in that trans fat type of category. We're talking about like refined sugars. These should be at minimum not kept in our diet. Now, there are a lot of commercial food products right now which involve the combination of trans fats and highly refined carbs. And again, we're going back to the 80s when they took all the saturated fats out of our diet. They created food products that had trans fats and highly refined carbs. And again, we can kind of point a lot of our health issues to those type of food products. So, Stacy, this is the best question I think for you. We talked about last week was the myth of the scale. And the one thing that we wanted to talk about was our body fluctuates throughout the course of a day. And it is not important for us to be, kind of fixate on that one number. A scale is an inanimate object. It changes throughout the course of the day. We want to make sure that we're not fixated on that number. So we talked about different aspects. Is this true or false, Stacy, that the number one component of our body weight fluctuation throughout the day is due to water weight?
True.
Very, very true. So I showed you guys a scale of I can fluctuate between 8 pounds in one day. I weighed myself 8 times in one day. My weight kept creeping up and up and up. So we talked about all those different factors. We talked about sodium consumption, carbohydrate consumption, consumption of water. All of those can increase our water weight throughout the day. So I really encourage you guys, if you are concerned about, losing inches and losing weight, I would prefer you to be more on taking body measurements, looking yourself in the mirror, using that as a positive outlook, as opposed to just focusing on that scale, because the scale is a dirty, rotten fucking liar. So we actually had, last week was our last week that we talked, and that was the myths of organic food. So Ryan, are organic foods more nutritious than conventional foods?
Sorry, you cut out there. Did you say orgasmic or organic?
Both.
Okay. Orgasmic, yes. Far more nutritious.
I just want to point out that Boz blushed a little bit.
Look, I'm constantly pink. It's just how I move in relation to the light.
Okay, sure. But anyway, sorry.
But to answer your question, they're been shown no more nutritional benefits. You said that there are some different levels, but they're nominal at best.
Correct. So of all the things that I studied and all the things that I brought to the table, this was the thing that I thought in science was going to be proven. I thought maybe there'd be something that would show that organic foods have a higher nutritional value than conventional foods. I provided a list, and Boz will put that in the last podcast, which has what's called the clean 13 and the filthy 15. So if you are concerned about pesticides on your fruits and vegetables, there's certain fruits and vegetables that have lower amounts of pesticides. It really doesn't matter if you're going to be consuming organic or conventional. Those you can save the money and purchase those conventional products. If you are concerned about pesticides, which again, the research is still kind of out, whether or not there's even enough pesticides on these foods to cause health issues in the long term. And we're talking about health issues. We're talking about serious issues. If you were to do that, then for those dirty 13, you may want to choose to purchase those organic products. So we also did some little active recovery series. And one of my favorite ones was the question someone brought up is, how much water should I drink?
Drink.
So Travis, drink.
He didn't wait to be nominated. He knew it was going to be him.
No, we were all drinking. I had to flip back and forth between my notes and you guys. But Ryan, who did you pick on the last one?
Justin Dobbins.
Is there liquor in that coral water bottle?
So one of my favorite statistics is about dehydration. Dehydration can have serious effects on the body, particularly from an athletic standpoint. So true or false? So this goes to Travis. A 5% reduction, a 5% amount of dehydration can cause a 10% reduction in athletic performance.
A 5%. Say that again.
So if your body is 5% dehydrated, it causes a 10% reduction in your athletic performance. True or false?
I'm going to have to go get another beer. I'm not sure.
It's one or two.
50-50.
I would say false.
False. It's 1%. So if your body is only 1% dehydrated, it's a 10% reduction in your athletic performance. When in doubt,
I'll be back.
Perfect. So when in doubt, drink more fluids, guys. And remember, there's fluids contained in fruits. There's fluids contained in vegetables. There's fluid contained in other types of beverages that you're drinking throughout the day. So Boz, good question here. Coffee and tea, caffeinated beverages, do they dehydrate your body?
Yes.
Answer is no.
No. Oh, okay.
No. So here's the problem, right? Caffeine is considered a diuretic by definition. There's not enough caffeine in these beverages to truly dehydrate your body. So if you're consuming coffee, if you're consuming tea, if you're consuming caffeinated beverages, that's still hydrating your body. So count that towards your daily water. If you are concerned about that, which again, the research shows that you shouldn't be, just consume an extra glass of water on top of any sort of caffeinated beverages you have throughout the week. And then the last thing we talked about, there's no questions about it, was this was probably our biggest feedback that we got was we talked about a strategy going to the holidays for eating. And this is something Ryan wanted me to bring back up. So I was going to bring up a big open conversation about this. My biggest advice for the holidays, guys, the statistics show that the average American gains 10 to 15 pounds over the holiday season. And that's only between November and January. That's ridiculous. And it's because there's so many parties, there's so many treats, there's so much temptation, there's so many meals that are built around overconsumption. So my biggest piece of advice around that, guys, is remember, go into the holidays having a plan. If you have goals, which we all have, fitness goals, we all have nutritional goals. A lot of us have fat loss goals. We want to make sure we're going into the holiday season with a plan. We do not have to be part of that statistic. We do not have to gain 15 pounds. We can find ways to still cook all these fun foods in a more nutritional way. We can go into these holiday parties and not have to overindulge, but we can still have a little bit of fun. So guys, that's where I'm going to end this conversation. I'm going to ask everybody, just the last bit for the holidays, guys, Merry Christmas. This has been a lot of fun for the year. Cheers. And cheers to everybody.
Cheers.
If anybody had anything they wanted to bring up about what we just recently talked about, I hope that was fun for everybody. Just kind of a little rehash of all those little important things, because it's really, really easy to go back in those bad habits. Those myths come back. Every single week I go on that DDP page. Those same myths we talk about are talked about every single week. So we have to keep beating into people's heads to just stop spreading the lies.
They almost need to make a no nutritional talk rule. Like it's such a slippery slope, man. It is.
And
it's two things. It's two things. It's a slippery slope in the DDPY community threads: nutrition and
heart rate monitors.
medical advice.
Yeah.
If I could have a dime for everybody that says, "Hey, I hurt my shoulder. What should I do?" Talk to your fucking doctor. That's what you should do.
You need to be a mod.
Don't ask some Yahoo who's barely doing a workout. I mean, and even me. I mean, don't ask me what I should do because I'm not medically trained. You know, if you're hurt, you should go talk to a doctor before you do anything else.
Yeah. Honestly, no piece of any sort of advice should be given on an open page on the internet, because you have no idea the qualifications of anybody that's giving you advice about anything.
Yeah, if you haven't evaluated the person, you don't know their medical history, you don't know anything about them, you can't make a judgment off of a comment of some guy, I hurt my shoulder. Oh.
Yeah. And we see other things too. We see people talking about depression and things like that. One of the worst places in the world people are giving advice about depression. Depression is just as serious of a disease as diabetes or anything else. And we hear people all the time giving advice about depression on our website. And it's great to be supportive. And it's great to say, hey, I've been through this. But you do not know that person's background. It's so dangerous. And we also hear those people say, hey, suck it up. It's just depression.
And one thing could be a bit of what somebody could be genuine advice could be a trigger. And Stacy, back to the whole first positively unstoppable thing. That comment thread to you was kind of a trigger, like, hey, I'm out of here. Instead of it being supportive, it's a, hey, you should do this kind of deal. And that's what some people should back off on the advice. Sometimes when people are putting shit out there, it's rhetorical. It's like, okay, I'm not going to answer that.
Yeah, sometimes less is more. There have been plenty of times that you type something out and just delete it, man. Just move on.
So I'm going to say about holiday diets, just that Dobbins is going to be proud of me because we're going to Spain for Christmas this year. And obviously in Spain, we don't have the traditional, like we have your Thanksgiving dinner on Christmas Day normally, but out there they have soup. Yeah. So, but the other thing is they love cured meats and dried meats and stuff like that. So we're buying a leg of ham. And
let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, Boz. Is that a liquid substance soup that you're talking about, or is that some piece of meat? I mean,
oh, it has meat in it, but yeah, no,
Like
it's
our
a
pudding?
soup.
okay, I'm just
But I'm saying,
exactly.
like when you compare it to the Thanksgiving dinner, stuffing, turkey, Yorkshire puddings, which I don't think you guys do. You're missing a trick, honestly. Yorkshire puddings, gravy, blah blah blah, and then you say, "Yeah, we have soup." Anyway, but the pata negra leg of ham, which costs you over €100, that you just carve off in very thin slices with a big knife. I'm just thinking Dobbins would be all over that. So,
Oh yeah,
100% he would be.
I'm planning to eat at least 2 of those this Christmas.
Well, I know this for sure. If we ever have, and Tom and I have been talking, if we ever have anything go on in North Carolina, we're going to have Justin be the master chef. And we will have, we will have a barbecue pit going on for sure.
For sure.
Anyway, we need to mention it's Ryan's fucking anniversary. He's given up part of his anniversary today.
Go, guys.
Yeah.
Let's go. Fuck
we're going to do a really
Let's
quick
go.
We're doing a quick roundup, and he's taken over now. So fucking go, dude. Really fast.
Hey, guys. Remember, shoot us an email if you want to reach out to the show. It's hitthematpodcast@gmail.com. Video reviews, we need them. We love them. You can write a review if you don't want to be on chat. That's cool.
Yeah,
send us some. Yeah, and otherwise, just check out all of our social media channels. It's on like 10 other episodes. Eat a dick, Boz. Goodbye.
Oh wait, am I the
No, you're
11th,
good.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you broke the
just
mold.
brought me back for the 11th episode, right? It's
Correct.
because of me.
We started the show to have you back. That's
you
it.
saved
the
That's
show.
the reason we continue.
Correct. This is like
But in
episode
all
number 1.
seriousness, Boz, you want to let people know where they can find you?
Nah, fuck all that. They can look at other shows. Yeah. Right, we're actually going to leave. So, Stacey, is there anything you want to plug? Because you are the guest.
You're the important one.
Sunflower Child _86 at Instagram and at Podgorski Stacy at Twitter.
Has that got a G in it? Sorry, Gary.
Twitter? No, there's not a single G in the word Twitter.
Exactly. What the hell are you thinking, Boz? Jesus.
Thank you, guys. I have to go.
Peace.
Love you all.
Happy anniversary, Ryan.
Cheers.
Happy anniversary, buddy.
Cheers. Thank you, Stacy. You've been awesome.
Merry everything.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Better Hit the Mat podcast.
But I feel really shitty now because, Stacey, I made you put your challenge coin away, and I wanted to talk to you about getting your challenge coin. So we could put that in outtakes. Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, let's hear about it.
We don't need Ryan.
It's not a challenge coin. This is...
Isn't it?
No,
Oh, okay. Well, fuck it then.
And it says keep fucking going.
Nice.
That's much better.
Well, even better. Yeah, there you go. Keep
But I
fucking
do
going.
have my
You
two
do have one.
tournaments here.
You got
Nice.
two.
Nice.
This one I won, and this one was given to me by
Sweet.
Kathy Hankins.
I added to mine. I have one, but I also have Sarah's. She sends out a little punch
Yes.
thing.
Oh, you put it on there together?
I'll put that on there. Yeah.
Nice.
That's cool.
How do you get the punch thing? Do you have to punch someone?
Sarah sends out a little fist punch
Bracelet thing.
bracelet. Yeah.
Yeah, but how do you earn it?
I don't want you buy a shirt.
Oh.
You cheap
I'd
bastard.
rather punch
Power-
someone.
The power of
No,
purchase.
she sends out a little thank you note and a bracelet, but I don't wear bracelets, so I took it off the bracelet and I put it on my necklace.
Yeah, I don't know about American appetites, but in the UK, hotel Wi-Fi hits the shit about 10 p.m. Because that's porn o'clock for all the truckers who are staying there, and it just goes through the floor. Then it's usually about then I have to upgrade to premium, or I can't get onto Tom's website. So, what a legend!
What a straight up weirdo. Good lord.
Can you imagine the amount of people who drove?
Oh, I've got some creepy comments about that one.
Imagine you're just
He was
driving
just
past
like, what did
Fox
he say?
High
He goes, I wanted to get like way more in depth, but I also didn't want to get arrested. And look at how many people are doing this.
Oh yeah,
dude.
Yeah.
You just paid $100 and sat through 2.5 hours of working out, and you still didn't get this?
You fucked up the first move.
That's the first thing you get.
Yep.
Because you know you stand in line with him. When you stand in line, he tells you, spread the
exactly.
Because he tries to crush them if you're nearby.
How about this shit? Robin and I went up with him, and he's like, "Hey, push a little harder." I'm like, okay, cool. Robin goes up there. You guys have never met my wife, but she grew up on a farm. She is strong. She went up to the next to Dallas, and she was like, damn, she pushed me over.
Pushed him off the stage. Actually, in that case, then I'm going to start using Brian Blessed.
Who is that?
Seriously? That was a joke, right?
No, what do you got?
Don't know who it is.
I don't know by name.
Flash Gordon. Gordon's alive!
Oh,
Wait,
okay.
from the original serials or from the 80s?
The film. Brian Blessed is a UK institution, a legend. He is. When he dies, there will be a national day of mourning.
Guest is an actor whose career has spanned decades, and maybe even centuries. He's a British institution, and should possibly be in one.
Brian Blessed, the oldest man to reach the North Pole, and the only man who's punched a polar bear right in the face. In a bid to avoid Brian's Polar Bear Express, I began the interview by giving him a "please don't hit me, I'm a human" kiss on the face.
He is so beloved by Brits. And it's that voice, that big booming voice. He does Shakespeare, and he's just most famous. Anyway, you know, celebrities are like, I'm not saying that. You meet him in the street, and you just point at him in the street. You don't even have to ask him. He'll just go, Gordon's alive!
With all his men, he couldn't even kill Flash.
Gordon's alive?
Oh, Tom's going to do that thing now where I do an edit point and he's completely changed outfits. He's just going to like, bing! I love about
I'm going to do that on my garage sale. Be like, I'll sign that for an extra $50.
That was Dallas.
It was 50 cents, but now
that
it's
was Dallas. He's like, stop fucking with me. Turn that
Halloween. Jeez. I don't have scary stuff behind me. That freaked me the hell out. Sorry.
That thing come to life?
It is.
Yeah, it's going to drop any second. That's command strips for you because I don't want to damage your paintwork. But there we are. I was going to say, the thing I love about Dallas is like he clearly sets these things up. And he's like, there
it goes.
Do you know why that happened? It was the fucking burn the boat sticker that I put on top of it.
That's right.
Unbelievable.
That shit's made of steel. You guys been jacking? I've been jacking. Have you guys been jacking?
I jack all the time.
Every day.
You've seen the posts. You've seen the posts.
You have been jacking very publicly. When you start making Q&As about others jacking and helping them jack better.
Jack better? Yeah.
I'm going to be a jack specialist.
Yeah. Can your next Q&A please be on the vinegar strokes?
Now, is there any correlation between jacking and circadian rhythm? Like, what's the science behind?
I didn't come across that one this morning.
I'm gonna have to make another account and ask.
I think I've seen every study, and I'm not sure if I came across that one.
Hit the mat. Wow, he just fucking went.
Brian was like, "Fuck, I'm out.
I'm out of here.
Let's talk shit about him now."
That's
how I feel every week. Oh my god.
Listen, I don't wear jewelry. I don't even have a wedding band on.
That is all of my jewelry there on my left hand because my right hand's for other things.
But I'm telling you, man, since I got this right here, I don't take this off unless I take a shower, man.
Why did you guys put me on the episode with all the ball talk and jerking and stuff? Like, what's that
we
about?
Do that every episode.
Have you not listened to our show every fucking episode?
We're really 8th graders. That's it.
What?
Oh.